there too? Well, it's Friday. It's 1 p.m. It's food truck time. Whew. Elevators always take forever on the 6th floor. Wait till I get outside to talk a bit more. Okay, so this is a tradition that carried over from Charter Communications back when I worked there. Just to give a little backstory on all this. I used to, every Friday at Charter, or every other Friday most of the time, there would be a actual food truck that would come and just basically serve us food. Charter always used to go out, like the execs and stuff, they'd go out with brooms and run them off because they said that it was interfering with the sales from the vending machines. Well, it's bullshit, but nonetheless, unfortunately, Food Truck Friday died because of that. And then, of course, my departure from Charter probably did not help with that. However, now is a different story. So, here we are, downtown Louisville, 1 p.m., my lunch break. And over here, not sure if you can see it, there's a smorgasbord of food trucks. So we're gonna go pick something out, pick a table, and I'm gonna get some food. We're gonna talk about my E3 predictions, kind of look forward to, you know, what's coming down the pipeline and stuff, and see if we can't run into a couple people I know while we're at it. Okay, so it looks like we got 3 food trucks, a barbecue, a Turkish, and I don't know what the one in the middle is. Definitely looks good, and it looks like they got wings on the other side too. So 4 food trucks. Nice. Well, time to go choose some food. So I decided to go to Johnny's Diner Car, and I wound up getting something called the Jukebox with Onions. It's a steak sandwich. It looks pretty interesting. I can't wait to get my hands on it. It's pretty decently priced. Today's Customer Appreciation Day. I got a free drink. They had others. I wanted water. I'm trying to slim down a little bit. Guy up there at the counter, he's a big Loot Crate fan. That's always nice. I love talking to other people who have Loot Crates because we're pretty rare in these parts, believe it or not. So it's always nice to see that. But yeah, so as soon as I get my food, we'll continue. We'll go get a seat and we'll start the video. In how many different languages can I say fuck yes right now? Look at this beautiful, beautiful fucking food. Oh my god, I am going to fucking tear into this shit. You have no fucking idea, dude. I am so excited. It looks and smells delicious. See if we can manage to get a table. That was the one that called me. I think we can get one over there. Oh my god, this food. This is just freaking awesome. Alright, and a water. It's like the tiniest table ever made. I gotta give this a shot before we get started, but oh, those are fresh fries. Yeah. Look at this monster. Yeah, I'm gonna need these napkins. Damn. That is amazing. You have no idea, guys. You guys are really missing out right now. I got a banana sucker. I don't know why he gave me a banana sucker. He's a Loot Crate fan. Might be part of it. But, well, I mean, down to the topic at hand here. Why are we here? Let me grab a napkin. Okay. As I mentioned earlier in the video, Food Truck Friday is something I used to like to do a lot when I was back at Charter Communications. I realize you guys can't see my face very well right now. I apologize about that, but I'm going to be eating. This is my lunch break. So, you know, I do still need to do that. But I wanted to discuss a little bit kind of what my expectations and hopes and, I guess you could say, dreams for E3 are this year. Because E3 actually starts this Sunday with Bethesda's kickoff ceremony. And I've already established a premise as to what it is that they're going to announce and stuff, because as most of you probably know, traditionally Bethesda's never really held an E3 conference, so it's a bit of a change in pace for them. Everybody kind of predicted Fallout 4 would be happening, but the thing about that is they've already announced it. They announced it before E3, so that puts us in a weird position. Why reserve a conference for a game that you're just going to reveal beforehand? You know what I mean? That leads me to believe it's something else. Sorry for that momentary lapse in video. Just trust me when I say that you guys did not want to see the absolute atrocity that befell that steak sandwich. That thing was absolutely... God. Johnny's Diner Car, well done. Okay. So why I actually wanted to make a video, why I do Food Truck Fridays and stuff like that. I typically like to talk about different things and do video blogs and things like that. I haven't been able to do it lately. A lot of people know there's a lot going on in my personal life, and it's kind of gotten in the way of the T-Core ambition that I wanted to relay. So without further ado, back to the topic at hand. When I left off a minute ago, I was talking about Bethesda's upcoming conference, and I honestly believe that there are other things to it. Fallout 4, I think we're going to get some video game footage at a solid release date. I think we're looking at a 2015 window, and I think Fallout 4 is going to release for, you know, in 2015 and everything, probably Q3, Q4. So I think we're going to get some gameplay footage. I think we're definitely going to be getting a release date, and I also think that Bethesda is going to show some actual footage and a beta date for Doom, because the beta still hasn't actually released. Even though I bought Wolfenstein like 2 years ago, I still haven't gotten to play the beta of Doom yet. So I'm thinking that they're going to be announcing the beta for Doom, and they're going to give us dates and stuff, possibly even an alpha. And I'm thinking that we're going to get a teaser for a new Quake game. Just because, why the fuck not? You know, I honestly believe, you know, they still have QuakeCon every year. Quake hasn't been around in the better half of the decade. I think with next-gen consoles, it's time to bring it back, and I think that's what they're going to do. And, I mean, if you put those three announcements together, it would make sense why Bethesda would want their own conference instead of just announcing it as a sub at a different conference, you know, like Microsoft or Sony's conferences. So I think that's legitimately why Bethesda booked their own thing, and I truly believe that, in my opinion, I think that's what's going to happen. We'll see, because, you know, Sunday is a big day for Bethesda with their conference coming up on that day, later that night. And you can catch the live blog at my website, www.thisistcore.com, T-C-O-R, don't get it confused. You can go there and peruse a bunch of different things, so you should check it out. Definitely, we'll be having a ton of E3 coverage and stuff. Microsoft's really going to knock it out of the box this year. They've actually got two conferences coming. They've got the one that is the Xbox conference, which they're apparently keeping separate, but they've got that one and they've got the PlayStation conference, both of which are coming. Or, I'm sorry, Jesus Christ. They've got that one and they've got the PC conference, not the PlayStation. PlayStation, Sony. I'm sorry, I fucked up. Okay. They've got the PC conference, which they're trying to keep separate from the Xbox, but I mean, most everybody knows by now that Windows 10 is coming to Xbox and the Windows Phone and all that, so they're actually going to marry the platforms, but they're keeping the conferences separate. I'm curious to see why that is, but I think it's interesting at the same time. So, of course, Microsoft just announced a new console bundle. It accidentally got leaked, and they wound up announcing it early. I think they were going to do it during E3, but they wound up just letting it go. So, there's that. I don't think that's a big worry anymore. But they're going to have to come out of the gate with some pretty good stuff. So here's my theory. I think we're going to hear an update on Phantom Dust. I think we're going to hear an update on Crackdown 2, or 3, I'm sorry. I don't think we're going to have solid release dates or windows for either of those games, and I don't think we'll even have a gameplay trailer for Phantom Dust, because of the whole thing that happened with the studio that was creating the game, how they had a falling out with Microsoft and all that. But I think Halo 5 will definitely be there, and I think we'll definitely see Rock Band 4. We'll definitely see some Guitar Hero, especially since they got the new ones, and I'm super excited for Rock Band 4. Don't get it twisted, that's my game. So I'm incredibly excited for that. I think Mad Catz is going to be there, and they're going to kind of go into more detail about how your old generation instruments can work on the new generation console, because that's pretty interesting to me. I've got all the old ones. I think they said for 360 instruments you have to have had a adapter of some type. But I believe that the original PS3 instruments actually already came with a Bluetooth dongle. They didn't run off IR like the old ones on the Xbox did, so you can just apparently plug the dongle and go. I'm still interested to see how that works though, because unless there's some type of firmware update, which you can't apply a firmware update if the instruments themselves aren't connected to the internet, you know, and I don't think you could apply it through a console. I could be wrong on that, but I'm just interested to see how it's going to happen. But they've promised that. They've said that they're going to allow our old instruments to work, which is exciting. But nonetheless, you know. So we're going to see some Rock Band. We're going to see some of that. A lot of people are speculating that Valve is going to have a big part. I don't think so. I think Valve will be pretty much non-existent at this conference. I don't think they'll... I don't really know. Maybe... I don't know. I don't think they'll be there at all. I really don't. I don't think they'll have any presence whatsoever at the conference this year. It seems, you know, too much. A lot of people, of course, every year, the same fucking naysayers every year, always come out, oh, it's gonna be fucking, this is the year, Half-Life 3. It's not happening. I'm sorry. The original team is gone. Half-Life 3 is not happening. So there's my prediction. All of you are gonna be disappointed. Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be announced at the PlayStation Sony conference, or the Microsoft PC conference. Probably the Microsoft PC. It'll be a remastered version for the PC, but it'll be the same shit that they've been basically giving us for the last like 8 years, instead of an actual fucking remake. So that's going to happen. What else? I'm trying to think of what else. Of course, we're going to get some sneak peeks at The Division, which is shaping up to be a very good game. Tom Clancy's is going to have a presence there. Pretty much all the fall lineup. We're going to get Gears of War, the Legacy Collection with all 3 Gears of War games, and I'm sure Judgment at some point will come out as DLC for that. I'm hoping that we'll get an update on the 2016 game, which is Gears of War 4, from Black Tusk Studios. I'm thinking that they're going to have something to share with us. I don't know what the capacity of that will be. I doubt it'll be a release date. I'm not even sure if it'll be... I think we'll get a trailer. I think we'll get a trailer. I don't think we'll get gameplay, but I think we'll get a trailer this year for that, which should be interesting. And then, let's see here, what else? Sony is going to come to the line with some more of their SCEA bullshit, which is where they promise that they're going to make a really good game and don't do it. But No, legitimately, Sony's going to come out of the gate. I think they've got 3 or 4 things in the works. I think they're going to have some God of War stuff there. That's going to be pretty interesting. Nintendo's going to do a Nintendo Direct. I'm willing to bet that they're gonna announce some Mario related titles. I'm thinking that I'm thinking they're going back to the well. They're going to start pulling old titles like Mario RPG, possibly redoing them in a kind of fashion for today's world, really. So that's going to be interesting to see, because I'm curious to see what's going to happen with that. I don't think we'll get a Metroid or anything like that. I think we'll get an update on Star Fox, because I think it's due out this year, and I think we'll get an update on Zelda. I don't know how extensive of an update, but I think we'll get an update. I don't think there's going to be any information on the NX this year. They've tried doing things like that in the past where they've lied to people, but most of the time they actually follow through with what they say. So when Nintendo says, you know, there's no NX at the conference this year, I believe them. It's more likely that the NX, if it's true that it's a rumored mobile platform, and if it's actually true that it is a mobile platform, like a cell phone or something, I think it's more likely that the NX would probably be revealed at a GDC instead of E3. So E3 is really, I mean, they have the hardware reveals, but it's not as extensive. It's more for games and software and IPs and things like that. So I don't think the NX would actually fit there, and because of their Nintendo Direct approach where they do that pre-tape show and stuff, I don't think that they're going to have it. I think that's something they're going to want to do on a live stream possibly, or you know, maybe like I said, to a crowd. I don't think they do it pre-taped. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it down and say there's nothing to do with the NX at the conference this year. The PC conference is going to be pretty interesting because supposedly Phil Spencer is going to speak there. And if you all were paying attention to the news yesterday, you'd know that Phil Spencer actually went to speak at a Oculus Rift, surprisingly, an Oculus conference, basically talking about some of the games and things. Apparently with every Oculus Rift is going to get a Xbox One controller bundled with it. So that's going to be interesting. I'm wondering if it's going to be kind of the same partnership. I'm wondering if Oculus is going to show up at Microsoft's conference, at their PC conference. I'm wondering if they're going to be compatible with Xbox, because that would make the HoloLens a lot more feasible. Why would Microsoft go after, you know, VR when they could go for AR and have Oculus cover the VR spread? You see what I'm saying? So it makes sense. It's a good strategic move. I think it's really good. One thing that's a big rumor, it's been denied multiple times. I don't know how to feel about it. Honestly, I hope it's true. Phil Spencer says it's not. You can't always trust executives. Sometimes, you know, when you're spending an assload of money, you want to keep the surprise as long as possible. So, you know, it's the Silent Hills announcement. I'm really looking forward to finding out what's happening with that, if anything, and seeing more Metal Gear Solid 5. But fucking Konami. But in any case, you know, it's really exciting to think about that, and I really want to see, you know, what becomes of it, because I think that they were too far along in the production process to just scrap everything. Like they would have lost way too much money. They'd be hemorrhaging money at this point. Obviously, the next best choice would be, as I mentioned in my article you can find on our website, my next best choice, or their next best choice, would be to probably, you know, sell off the IP. Now, not entirely, maybe license the IP, right? Give it exclusivity rights. Microsoft pays for the rest of the development. It gets released on Microsoft platforms. Bada bing, bada boom. Win-win. They don't hemorrhage their money, and the game still gets released. Sure, there are going to be butthurts people on PlayStation about it, but the fact is, PlayStation doesn't really have the money. Sony in general is actually hurting for money, and Microsoft is in a lot better of a situation right now financially than Sony is to take on that burden. Could it swing either way? Sure, I could see PlayStation picking it up, especially since PT itself was actually a PlayStation exclusive demo, since we didn't get it on the Xbox. But I don't think that PlayStation is willing to put out the kind of money that Konami would probably require to obtain the exclusivity rights to that title. So it's just an interesting thing. It's an interesting dynamic, but I think that Microsoft is definitely the best poised if Konami would be willing to play ball, and I think that, you know, there's some truth to every rumor. Whether or not, you know, nobody just makes up a rumor and calls it a rumor and says it's a rumor and, you know, that's that. No, there's some truth to it. It comes from somewhere. Some source somewhere either said, I'd like to see it, or we're thinking about it, or something. So, you know, I can keep my fingers crossed, and I think if, as I mentioned in the article, I think if they are going to buy Silent Hills, the perfect sucker punch to, you know, the dick of Sony, if you will, I think that the best place to announce that would be on stage at E3 and then rub it in their face. Because if you remember, when Sony got ahead a little bit over Microsoft 2 years ago with the console unveilings and the Always Online and the DRM and all that, they, I mean, immediately went for the ground and pound, and they kept on Microsoft's ass for months to come, you know, and they never let up. They just were brutal about it. They attacked them viciously. So if I were Microsoft right now, I wouldn't take the high road. I wouldn't take the moral ground. I would go for it, dude, because it's a smart move. Silent Hills is a big IP, and if you can get that exclusively for your console, you officially have an edge. And you put that next to games like Tomb Raider, which I know we're going to see at E3 as well. That's it's not a PlayStation exclusive, but it was a PlayStation flagship. Because see, it came out on other consoles. It was out for a while on other consoles and stuff, so it didn't just go to PlayStation. However, Lara Croft is one of the defining characters of the PlayStation. That's why it's amazing to see now, you know, what's going on with that situation, because it's not something you would normally expect to happen. It'd be like God of War or Halo suddenly making a jump to the opposite console. It just doesn't happen that way. We know Bungie's going to be there. They're not my favorite people, but they're going to be there. They're going to be talking about the Taken King. Destiny has improved massively over the last few months. I'll probably be procuring the Taken King. Of course, you can watch Joshua and I's streams on that. You can just go to the website. Our streams are right there under the T-Core gaming page. But we play constantly and stuff, so, you know, you can always check that out. But at E3 this year, they're supposed to be announcing the Taken King, which is supposed to be a pretty big expansion. It's rumored to run around $40, which I said, you know, it probably would. My predictions were that back when it was called Comet, it would run $40, and then you'd have to pay $30 for the other two expansions, because there's supposed to be 2 more expansions, one Cabal and one Vex expansion, following what we got here. I believe, if I may make a couple of predictions on that, on Comet and stuff, I think the Taken King, I should say, is going to have a new enemy and a new planet. Obviously, I believe everybody's throwing around Mercury, because we've already got a couple of multiplayer maps. So it's possible that the saga continues of shit we should have already had in the game, and they just cut it to charge us extra. But, you know, that's fine. I guess. What can we do about it now, right? But they're saying Mercury is going to be the planet. I'm interested to see what it's going to be. But I agree. I think Mercury. As far as the raid, I don't think the raid's going to be on the new planet. I think it's going to be a raid on one of the old planets. Because if you think about it, we've only got 2 planets, you know, with raids currently, and that's what, Venus and the Moon, and that's it. So what about the raid on Earth? You know, what about the raid on the other planets that we've actually currently got in the system? I don't think they're going to add a new planet and a new raid on that new planet at the same time. In fact, I'm also curious, because I believe if it is Venus, I think that the Cabal are going to get their raid from Update 4. Or, I guess it'd be technically 5, right? Update 5, I think, is going to contain the Cabal raid, and I think that's actually going to be, if they add Mercury or Mars, either one, I think it's going to be on there. I think it's Mars is what I meant. I didn't mean Mercury, sorry. But if they add Mars, I think that's where it's going to be. I think it's going to be the Cabal raid on Mars. So I highly doubt things are, you know, I don't think they're going to put the raid there immediately. So it's hot out here. You know, E3 is it's an exciting time. There's a lot of things that are going to happen. There's a lot of different things. You know, I can sit here all day and make predictions, but you know what? As a gamer, E3 is my mecca. It's my holy land. It's everything. And every year I do this live stream. I do these videos to get pumped up and talk about it, and I make myself look like an ass because I stumble over my words or I say the wrong things, or, you know. But I genuinely love gaming. I've been a gamer my whole life, and I genuinely love all things gaming. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I own every current gen console, every last gen console. I'm working on getting all the consoles in the world just so I can have them all, because I am a gamer through and through. That is my blood life. You know, that's my lifeblood. Not blood life, but blood life. That is my lifeblood, and it's what I do, and I genuinely enjoy it. So I'm typically very excited around this time. I'm glad to be putting videos out again. It's nice. I'm glad to be doing a live blog on our website. That's nice too. So, you know, I guess comment, let me know what you guys think. What are we going to see this year? You know, because I'm really excited. I'm really pumped. I hope you guys are too. E3 is gonna kick ass this year. I got a feeling. It's we've had a bad streak as gamers. We've had a shit streak for a while, and I think this is the year it turns around. So anyways, comment, let me know what you think. See you next time.